Thanks for joining us for episode 444 of the Clive Barker Podcast, the only podcast dedicated to the imagination of Clive Barker. I'm back at my home setup. I'm Ryan, and we've got some updated convention appearance news. We talk about the Phantasmagoria Hellraiser interview book and a discussion topic. Are foreign Barker book covers better than ours? This episode is sponsored by Don Bertram's Celebrate Imagination. Don Bertram is a longtime friend of Clive and advocate of his art, but Don's unique and inspiring paintings are for sale, and over 50% of the proceeds go to the Arts and Medicine program at the Texas Children's Cancer Center. There's even a paver in Washington, D.C. representing Celebrate Imagination. We're thrilled that this worthy cause is sponsoring our podcast again this year, and we hope that you'll consider looking over the Etsy shop to buy one of his original paintings or books. Follow the link in the show notes or click the side banner, and let's see what's new with Don Bertram today. On March 17th, Don showed us The Messenger on his Facebook page. This and the previously mentioned The Nibbler are available for sale, but may not be on the Etsy shop. Speaking of the Etsy shop, there are some new paintings on his Etsy shop to check out. Mother and Child 2, The Stargazer, The Folk Singer, The Pearl, Top of the World, and don't forget about his books, The Chimney Sweep's Tale and Celebrate Imagination. Hey, welcome. This is episode 444 of the Clive Barker Podcast. Good afternoon, Jose. How's it going?
Hey, Ryan. How's it going? Look at that number. It's so cool. We got a 444.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of episodes. Also,
I could feel the tiredness in your voice.
Yeah. Yeah, I am a little bit tired. I went to bed at like 1 o'clock and I got up at 6.
Oh, did you get back from your vacation? Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, we got to feed seals too, which was pretty neat. And pet them, and I did a fist bump where he nuzzled my fist.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And you saw like a little moose, what do you call them? Like moose babies?
There were we just saw a couple of adult moose.
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
There were some standing right outside the Sea Life Center when we were going in, and just in the parking lot. But then also we went to a wildlife preserve place that was in between the Seward and Anchorage, and on our way back, and they had moose in a barn, which I'm not used to seeing them like in a wildlife area. Usually I'm just used to seeing them out in the woods,
in the wilderness,
or on the side of the road. Yeah,
not housed in like cattle. Right?
Or eating my jack-o'-lanterns.
They do that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Now that I moved to this place here in Cleveland Heights, we have a little camera outside for security, and we do get deer coming in all the time, just walking around our front yard and our backyard. Sometimes there's more than one, and raccoons, skunks.
Oh.
I keep saving those little videos of them just walking past my yard. It's kind of nice.
We had raccoons in Washington. We don't have them here, but we have porcupines.
Oh, okay. Isn't it too cold for those little guys?
I guess they hibernate. I don't know.
Yeah. This weekend, as we're recording this, there's people probably waiting in line to see Clive Barker in Chicago.
Yeah. We've seen lots of pictures already coming through of people visiting Clive at Chicago. It doesn't... I mean, maybe I haven't seen the lines, but it doesn't look like it's as crazy as it was when you and I went in 2017 to Texas Frightmare Weekend. We stood in that line for 6 hours.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Wow. It was fun, though, because we were talking all the time. We were meeting other people. We were there with our buddies Marcus and, David. And, it was Joe and Catalina were there. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. But this time, this is happening in Chicago at the Days of the Dead convention. It's taking place at the Crown Plaza, Chicago O'Hare Hotel and Conference Center. Let us know what you're doing. You already posted a lot of pictures to Facebook. People are posting pictures about meeting Clive. Last night, I saw Simon Banford posted a photo op of all of the Cenobites and all of the cast of Hellraiser together with Clive. We got Doug Bradley. We've got Ashley Lawrence and Barbie Wilde. We had Nicholas Vince and Simon Bamford and Clive Barker all together in the same picture. You can probably see that in this episode's image. It's wonderful. What a great group of people.
Remember, I think the cost now for getting stuff signed, if people are interested, because we had in the Reddit, in the subreddit, we had one person asking what it was going to be like, and then they posted an update. Said, okay, now I'm here. This is what it's like, and so it's $80 to get something signed. Mm-hmm. It's $100 if you buy one of his paperbacks off of the table and get that signed. It's $100, and if you do that with a hardcover, it's $120. They don't want you to take pictures with Clive at the table because of the photo op. So, but people are taking pictures of Clive and at the table, but not like posing with him, kind of
sneaky.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're just taking pictures of all the art that he has for sale.
Yeah.
So I saw a couple of days ago they posted Clive doing a pre-signing of some Hellraiser boxes and some of his artwork and some autographed photos that he was preparing.
Yeah, yeah. So there's been a lot of cool like build up and people excited to get to meet Clive. I think the very first time I went to see him at a convention was the 2011 Texas Frightmare weekend, and I wasn't prepared for the cost of all of that. I mean, I didn't know that. I was used to book signings where it was free, and so I had a big old duffel bag full of stuff like that I hadn't had signed since the last time I went to a book signing. And it's like all of a sudden, it's like, oh, those are, back then, like what, $40 or $60 each. And so the stuff that I got signed that day added up to $1,200. And
wow.
I know. And so it was so much that they told me, you know what, Ryan, this is a huge amount. Why don't we let everybody else get their stuff signed first? And you can just sit with us at the table. So I got to sit with Clive and Mark Miller and stuff at the table for hours while they got stuff signed by other people. It was so awesome. So
you spent $1,200 getting all that stuff signed?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was my it was a good real estate year, I think, back then.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's amazing. And yeah, you pretty much got everything that you have is signed.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I mean, except for more recent stuff. I mean, I haven't had anything signed since 2017, when we went to Texas Frightmare weekend the last time.
Wonderful. There's a lot of people posting stuff. It's become pretty expensive to go to conventions nowadays.
Yeah.
That is also the way that you can help support your favorite artists and actors and authors. Couldn't go because, I'm in Ohio right now, but we're going through a bit of a dry spell in certain aspects, so I couldn't go to Chicago for this convention.
Yeah.
But
and for me at my work, it's a really bad time because I'm in charge of all of our appeals, and so it's. If I leave, they just pile up everything on my desk until I get back.
They've got a lot of different photo ops going on with a lot of interesting actors. You got Ashley Lawrence photo op. You can do a photo op with Barbie Wilde. Other people from other movies too. I mean, Doug Bradley, of course. I've seen someone post a picture of them with Doug Bradley. They were cosplaying.
And I like seeing Clive Barker at these things, but honestly, we've spent so much time now talking with these, Cenobite actors that just going and getting to hang around with them, that would make it, amazing. That would make it really good. I mean, being able to see Clive Barker again is great too.
Of course.
But yeah, I mean, we've kind of built up a relationship with these guys over the years that we've done this podcast.
Definitely. Yeah. It's more fun to just see the behind the scenes sometimes and hang out with people after the signings than to actually go get a picture with them. I mean, we can do that now anytime, but Anyway, so I was looking at a picture of this cosplayer. I think you might be seeing that on your screen as well, Ryan. Belladonna Janus Atropa. She posted pictures of herself. She's dressed almost like a Cenobite, which is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
With that white hair wig and the pale face makeup and black lips, and she was holding a little dog, and Doug Bradley's right next to her, and Doug Bradley's holding one of the little dog's paws, right? He's I think he's wearing one of those Black Craft like medallions, and he's got a John Lennon T-shirt, of course, representing Liverpool. Yep. And what a good picture. He's so smiley.
Yeah. Yeah, we still need to have our part 2 with Doug Bradley. We haven't done that yet. We said we were going to do a part 2.
We gotta do a part 2 with all the movies that he's been in. That would take some research too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that new one. What is that called?
Thorns.
Thorns, right? I think it's got a limited theatrical release right now, from what I've understood. I don't think it's anywhere near where I can see it, but
yes. So it does seem to have a very limited theatrical release. I remember when they were saying that it was coming to theaters recently around. They said that's something on February, I think, the end of February. And I have to figure that out if there's anything around me playing that. Let me see. Movie, Thorns, playing near me. Let's see what comes up. Come on, Google, don't let me down. Yes, let's see. Thorns, movie times near Cleveland. Okay, let's see if I can watch this movie anywhere.
You might have to go back in time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I don't see anything in Cleveland.
Okay.
No showtimes found for Thorns near Cleveland. But you know what? I can probably buy that or rent it whenever it's available. Yeah. So I think we should do that. We should probably both watch that movie.
Yeah. I think that would be a great audio commentary to add. Why not? It looks obviously Hellraiser inspired.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the whole dude with the thorn crown looks like a Cenobite. And then look at that. We can watch Thorns on Prime Video.
Oh, is it there now?
Yeah, I guess. Let's see. Nope. This is not the right Thorns film. I am sorry. This is a romantic comedy or something.
Okay. Oh, it looks like somebody who works in a flower shop.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll find it. We'll find it.
I gotta let Indy out. I didn't know he was trapped in here with me. Just a second. He was meowing a whole bunch into the microphone. Okay.
Oh, I didn't hear it all.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure he'll come through on the recording because it records my microphone separately from the Skype.
Okay, gotcha.
Input.
Yeah, so let's try to watch Thorns at some point. That would be great. Maybe we can bring that as a hook to get Doug Bradley to come back to the podcast.
But not the one that's on Amazon Prime.
Not the one on Amazon Prime, no.
Yeah. So our other news that's related to Clive Barker and conventions is that he's going to be appearing at Monster Mania in August in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And I actually went to the first one where he was going to appear there, but he couldn't make it at the last minute. He couldn't go to that one.
Right. So March 18, which was about 5 days ago, they posted from Clive Barker and his management the following statement. It said, "My dear friends, for the last almost 40 years, I've been visiting conventions in cities in Europe and America to talk with my supporters, signing books, movie posters, Pinhead, a.k.a. the Hell Priest, models, and countless precious keepsakes which you've brought for me to sign. The most precious, the arms, legs, and other body parts that brave souls have asked me to sign to later be tattooed over. What an honor." Did you see at this Chicago one that someone was getting Clive to sign one of his tattoos of a picture of Clive that was tattooed on someone's arm?
No, I didn't.
Oh, yeah, I think it was one of the pictures our friend Maureen posted. You need to go back and check that. That was cool.
That's almost word for word to, what he said in that interview with Bloody Disgusting.
Yeah.
The first paragraph there.
And then he says, "However, it's time to focus entirely on writing. I'm not stopping public events because I've lost delight in meeting you all over the years. I'm as passionate as ever about sharing my imagination with readers and moviegoers around the world. In the very room where I'm writing these words, I have the manuscripts for a large number of projects." And that's stuff we covered last
I think this is all word for word, everything he said in that Bloody Disgusting interview.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he's going to be also signing at Monster Mania 59 in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, which runs from August 2nd to August 4th of 2024, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and when I went there, they did a Hellraiser reunion, and they had tons of people in Barbie Wilde, Ashley Lawrence, Doug Bradley, and Julia.
Claire Higgins.
Claire Higgins, thank you. Yeah, and Claire Higgins was there. So that was really neat. Of course, all of that, you bring your stuff to get signed by all those people before you know it. If you get them all to sign the thing, you've spent $400 on.
Right.
But, that's the way those things go, and you just kind of have to not think too hard about it, I guess.
And these are the last times you're probably going to be able to see Clive in the years to come.
Yeah.
Because it seems like he's cutting down on conventions to get back to work, and as such, if you're at Chicago, treasure that moment, because it might not be something that you're going to do in the next few years.
Right. Yeah. And now we've got, Monster Mania, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. So, we thought long and hard about going to Chicago, and it didn't work out for us. Maybe we could do this one.
Yeah, it's in August. That would definitely be easier for us to travel and get time off of work. Yeah. Let's think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it would be kind of nice to have a presence there. So we'll think about that.
Hopefully I'm not moving again. That would be not good.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
remember the first time?
Right?
You remember the first time I moved? We did a April's Fool gag where you said I was
moving somewhere that had no internet.
Yeah, that was leaving the podcast. They got a lot of people worried.
Yeah, and we had a little picture of you like waving out of your car window.
Bye. Anyway, if you can get internet in Alaska and you have better internet than I do, then we can get internet anywhere.
Yeah.
All right, so
we need
Monster.
More, I think.
Yeah, Monster Mania 59 in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, August 2nd through the 4th. Start booking your hotel stays and your tickets, because this might be the last one you'll get from Clive for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know how many more are going to be left, but this is going to be, one of the last few, if not the last one.
I love seeing pictures of people at conventions, because it just, for many, many years, I didn't live in the U.S., and we didn't have a tradition of horror conventions like that in Portugal. So I would see this stuff happening, and it would be like, wow, I wish I could go to one of these things in the future, And I still want to go to like San Diego Comic-Con one day. It's just, It seems like these conventions are becoming more and more packed with people and packed with, become like a big event where you have to go if you have a lot of money to spend, and you're trying to get some really rare collectibles and signed stuff that you won't be able to get anywhere else. But
San Diego Comic-Con, man, you didn't go to that one even when you lived in California.
That's right, yeah.
I think there's a smaller, more horror-themed one that you can go to in California, too.
Mm-hmm, I'm sure. There's probably tons of those. Like that, the one where I saw the Cabal cut was the Convolution at the Hyatt.
Yeah, that was, in
Burlingame.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's such a fun time when you're at one of these conventions, and I'm jealous of the people who are right now in Chicago, because it's just so much fun to see all the cosplayers, and everybody talks to each other like everybody knows each other. It's great. I mean, you're in line with someone and you've got stuff in your hands to sign, and then someone's got something that's super interesting, and you're like, oh, you got that? Where'd you get that? And they're like, oh, I got this back in 1987. I'm like, oh, cool. I saw people with handmade Cenobite figurines when we were in Texas at Fort Worth, and I was like, that's obviously not a commercial product, but that's pretty cool.
I remember one time we were walking down a hallway in there, in the hotel, and one of the there's somebody was like, "Those are the guys from the Clive Barker podcast."
Really?
And like, wow, that like I was just so amazed that people actually recognized us and knew.
Yeah, so much fun. I'm really happy that you guys were there. Our friend Maureen has been in Chicago to watch Clive, and she's posted some pictures of her experience. So I've been living it proxy-like through those posts. So thank you, Maureen, for doing that.
She must have done that first thing on Friday on the opening day.
Yeah. So good stuff. I'm so glad that you got to go and have fun. And send us pictures. Please send us stuff and post stuff on the Clive Barker subreddit and our podcast listener group. Please, let us know what you're doing and what you got signed. We'd love to see your stuff. Oh yeah, people are starting to receive their Clive Barker podcast interview books.
Yay! I know. 5 or 6 years in the making, this book, and now almost I think everyone that ordered one through the Kickstarters has gotten theirs. And now we're starting to sending out, that was our first priority, and we're also sending them out to contributors and stuff. So that's what we've been working on now. And most of those are also already on order and ready to go. Yeah.
That's right. So we still have a few more to be shipped out for some of our contributors, like you said. And I still haven't sent you one of those proofs that I got, but I'll send them on Tuesday because that's where I'm going to have the day off.
Oh yeah, yep, yeah. And I got my actual copy. The normal one that's not the author proof with the
I don't have one of those yet. I haven't bought one for myself yet.
Oh
but,
man, it's really
send
cool.
one to me. Yeah,
it was really neat to have it, to be able to hold it in your hands.
I do apologize that there's still a few pages that might have a few typos here and there, but
I think that's every book, though.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we did the best we could, but there are still. I was going through the proofs and I was like, oh no, this one is still. But hey, we might be able to fix that. Yeah, we still have a few break lines that are not correct and stuff like that, but it's not a lot. In 400 pages, it's not a lot of pages that have typos. So I'm happy with that. I'm satisfied.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to getting the author proof, and then I'll have one of each version.
We're also very happy that our, people have started joining our Patreon, so we'll always do a big shout out at the end.
Yeah.
And this month, 4 people bought a copy of our hardcover book from Amazon, so that's also a nice update for us to give. People are buying copies of our book.
Probably to protect their privacy, they don't tell us,
right,
who those people are.
Well,
but thank you.
I wasn't going to say that.
Yeah.
Because I bought this magazine that was announced recently that was going to have a whole bunch of stuff like interviews that Stephen Jones did with people from Hellraiser, contributions by people like Kim Newman, Peter Atkins. So this issue, Phantasmagoria number 9, came out, and it's totally all about Hellraiser, and it's chock full of good stuff. It's like this is the best thing. If you're a Clive Barker or Hellraiser fan, definitely need to get a copy of this Phantasmagoria because it's got so much good stuff in it. Let me go grab the magazine and I'll start talking about it in one moment.
And that's Phantasmagoria number 9. And it kind of, to me, this news kind of came out of nowhere because all of a sudden you're like, you had it in your hands and like, hey, you should get one of these.
So yeah, I got the magazine. Here it is. Phantasmagoria Special Edition, Hellraiser Special. This is This is an English magazine. It says here, editor is Trevor Kennedy, with editorial consultants Stephen Jones and Peter Atkins.
Oh.
And it's got a front cover artwork by Graham Humphreys. I think this guy did also some artwork for that Leviathan book and the Leviathan documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got Julia and Frank facing each other, painted Julia and Frank facing each other, about to kiss. In the background, there's like the Lament Configuration diamond. And then in the background, you see the damp room and the Cenobites. They're all painted in like this blue undertone. And then at the bottom of the cover, you see Kirsty holding the box and Frank, on all, sitting crisscross applesauce.
Yeah.
Messing with the box. And the derelict in the corner there. But we got a lot of good stuff in here. We got contents. We have an introduction by Stephen Jones. Editorial by Trevor Kennedy, the editor of Phantasmagoria. A handy pocket guide to Pinhead. Film series overview by David Brilliance. And then we got introduction to the Hellraiser tapes by Stephen Jones, which is a bunch of interviews that he did with Hellraiser cast.
Yeah, and including Clive Barker is one of those.
Yeah, including Clive Barker. Then we've got Clive Barker, Christopher Figg, Bob Keane, The Birth of Frank, Andrew Robinson, Claire Hagen's interview, Ashley Lawrence interview with Stephen Jones on the Hellraiser tapes. Then we've got In the Name of Obsession, Navigating the Labyrinth of Hellraiser 2, an article by Kelly Dunn. Tony Randell, The Look of Hellbound, an interview by Trevor Kennedy. And then another interview with the composer Christopher Young, Music of the Invisible World, interview by Kelly Dunn. And also another Hellraiser tape interview with Kenneth Cranham from Hellraiser 2, of course, played the Dr. Chenard. A love letter to Dr. Cenobite feature by Owen Quinn. Imogen Borman, Speaking Without Fear, interview by Kelly Dunn. So they've interviewed Imogen Borman, who played Tiffany.
Yeah.
An interview with Jeff Portis, Making Monsters with Jeff Portis. Doug Bradley, the Cenobite with No Name, interview by Trevor Kennedy. Then we also have interviews with Nicholas Vince, Barbie Wilde, Simon Banford. And then the Hellraiser tapes really keeps going with Anthony Hickok's interview, Terry Farrell, who played Joey in Hellraiser 3.
Yeah.
Another article just about a forgotten heroine, Joey Summerskill from Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth. Another interview with Peter Atkins by John Gilbert. A feature by Paul Kane where he talks about the theatrical sequels of Hellraiser. Always, great to see Paul Kane break it down for the fans. A exclusive Hellraiser Bloodline original screenplay extract by Peter Atkins. And then one of the coolest things, I want to read this because I was talking to Ed Martinez about this, and I want to make sure he hears this. There was an original story treatment that was never filmed for Hellraiser 5, Hellfire. At the time,
I saw that.
Yeah, this was made by Stephen Jones and Michael Marshall Smith. So Michael Marshall Smith was a writer. Stephen Jones, of course, also writer and publicist for Hellraiser 1, 2, 3, and Nightbreed, I think.
Yeah.
So this should be interesting. It was never made, but it was a treatment that they actually got Clive and Doug to tell Dimension that, yeah, this is cool. You guys should give it a chance. And then there were a few meetings and nothing happened. And some fiction.
Probably would have been better than the one we got for Hellraiser 5.
Yeah. And some fiction, which is cool because this kind of reminds me a little bit of the same way that we set up our book, because we also have a bunch of interviews and introductions at the beginning, and then in the end we have some short stories.
Yeah.
This one has Prisoners of the Inferno by Peter Atkins, Look and Look Again, based on the story Look See by Nicholas Vince. So those are the two stories that he wrote.
Yeah.
You got Sister Celice, Part 1 of the Silesium trilogy by Barbie Wilde. Cliff Wallace, who did special effect work for Hellraiser, he did Polythene. That's the name of the song, the story. Polythene by Cliff Wallace. And then we've got, of course, an extract from Sherlock Holmes and the Servants of Hell by Paul Kane. And that's it. Reviews and acknowledgments. And it's chock full of pictures. Oh, also I need to say that this issue is dedicated to the memory of Anthony Hickox, who passed away in 2023.
Right, yeah.
But there's so much good stuff. This is like Stephen Jones really opened up the vault, and he got a whole bunch of stuff. Great interviews. I'm looking, for example, at a picture of Peter Atkins on stage singing and playing while he was in the band Chase. There's a lot of pictures in all of this stuff. There's pictures of Clive Barker and Peter Atkins shooting The Forbidden in 1978. There's stuff calling sheets for movies like Hellraiser and Nightbreed. There's a lot of pictures of the Cenobites, test shots. There's a lot of interesting stuff here, effects shots, and it's just, this is enormous. This has how many pages? 375 pages. So, yeah, this is perfect. This is if you're a Hellraiser fan, you need to get a copy of this.
So, and the news about it, I mean, this is available right now, but the news about it also is that today they're launching in London the hardcover version.
I think so, yeah. They're signing this issue, and they're also putting out the hardcover version, I believe.
The limited hardcover version. So,
which I wish I knew that they were doing that.
Yeah, well, and I'd like to know how to get a hold of it. I mean, maybe it's so limited I might not be able to get one. Well, we'll see. I'm going to try.
Yep. You got to give it a try.
Yeah.
We are adding some stuff to the show notes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess that's it for the news. And then moving on into discussion. This was something in Reddit that made me think of you, because this guy was complaining that why do all the Portuguese editions get all the best cover art?
Yeah, I think he's talking about the Brazilian Portuguese ones.
So Portuguese language is what he meant then.
Right. Because there's that
alternate art for Portugal is his title, but
is it?
Yeah.
Where is that? Let me open that up, because I think I've read that on the Reddit, but I don't think that we have a lot of releases from Clive Barker translated in Portugal. Huh. I think he says the Portuguese cover art for Scarlet Gospels is incredible. Let me see if I can find that.
Yeah,
because I thought he was talking about the Brazilian one.
Well, and I remember Brazilian one was really cool.
Yeah, this one, the Evangelho de Sangue.
Yeah,
this is Brazil. This is not Portugal. I don't think we have that book released in Portugal, or at least I haven't really seen it. Let me see one thing here while we're doing that. But yeah, I agree that some amazing covers have been put out for Clive Barker stuff in other countries. I mean, I remember when I was in Germany, there were some really cool German covers for Clive Barker. Nightbreed is called Cabal there, I think.
Yeah.
And Aberrat has some cool Japanese versions, too. I don't know if you ever saw that one. But
yes,
there are some pretty cool
definitely.
ones.
Yeah, and I think that who's that artist that Daniel Serra does a lot of cool like international covers for Clive Barker books.
That's right, for Italian things and stuff. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and so I don't know if I would say that they're better, but I think they are really cool and they're worth collecting for sure. But
especially if you can read other languages,
Yeah. I like I like a lot of the British covers the best, I think, for Barker's books. It depends on which ones we're talking about. And like the Scarlet Gospels, when it came out in the US, there were two different covers for that, right? And the UK version was better than the US version.
Yeah, I see what he was talking about. Yeah, he's talking about that Scarlet Gospels from Brazil, because I just found that in a Portuguese store, but it says imported from Brazil, expedited from Brazil. So but that's pretty cool. Dark Side Books.
Maybe you should go on there and make a correction to. It's not. Well, these are not books from Portugal.
Right. It's Dark Side Books is a Brazilian company, but being Portuguese, I guess they also sell it in Portugal, even though it's slightly different in grammatical terms. But I'm not going to be precious about that.
Well, it's better than the one guy in the comments who said, "I don't speak Spanish."
Really? You're kidding me. Oh, no. Dark Side Books in Brazil even released Clive Barker's Dark Worlds by Phil and Sarah Stokes. In Portuguese. So if you're in Brazil, you can actually get a copy, and it looks just like the English version. See?
That publisher must have a really dedicated Clive Barker fan amongst them.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. Are you seeing my screen like I'm showing it right now?
Oh, I've got my notes in front of that. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I see it.
That's a Dark Side Books release.
Oh, they put a little Clive Barker signature across the title there.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I like the cover. It's very, very similar to the original one, and it looks like it comes with a lot of care and graphic design on the inside.
The title, where it says Clive Barker in big red, really pops out a little more than the one that we have. That's
true. Yeah. Well, I guess this guy's proven right again.
Ours is silver. It's silver kind of block writing on the top, right? Where it says Clive Barker, and then Dark Worlds is in red.
And this Brazilian edition of Dark Worlds comes with a little poster and exclusive little pictures.
Oh.
Yeah, see the poster and the exclusive pictures right there?
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Huh. They come like little signed pictures, see?
Wow.
Printed, of course, printed. I don't think these are really signed. But I could see that. Yeah, look at these like editions from Dark Side Books, right? I mean, you got the Books of Blood, Volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. They all have different covers on Dark Side Books.
Yeah.
And then they have the Scarlet Gospels, where Pinhead has like the solved lament configuration behind his head is shining like a halo, and then golden chains are opening up his chest to show us his heart. It's a very religiously iconic kind of like inspiration for this one.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about Pinhead being naked on the cover, but that's okay, I guess. Missing kind of something, like the leather outfit.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be sewn through his skin, so it would be tough for him to take that stuff off.
Yeah. And you see the Aberrat Japanese editions?
I have, yeah. Those are cool.
Yeah. Yeah, here it is. Here's one.
Yeah.
There it is. These are some of the Japanese versions. This cover here, for example, this cover, the simplified Chinese trade.
Oh yeah,
it's got the lady with the aquarium hat.
Yeah,
for the Abrai one, which is pretty cool. Amazing.
Yeah, yeah, and visiting Clive Barker's studio house, he had every edition of every book in a big library room. So it was pretty neat to kind of look through those. Better than going to a bookstore where you see 3 books by Clive Barker and their paperbacks of the Scarlet Gospels and maybe Galilei or something.
I do remember seeing on the subreddit a while ago, someone was complaining, why are all of Clive Barker's books out of print? And I think that they raise a good point, too. I mean, I feel like some of these books should have more editions. I think they sell. I mean, don't they sell?
They're not really all out of print, not as much as people think they are. I think they're around. I think they just aren't stocked as much as we would like.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they keep reprinting them. The Books of Blood got reprinted with the new Hulu movie.
Oh, yeah, they did. They did put that in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was it. I also had discussion about, what it's like going to conventions versus book signings and stuff, but we already kind of talked about that. So, yeah, really, I mean, next up is talking about our Patreon. Of course, before the Patreon, we would love people to buy our book. We mentioned the book before. You can find it on Amazon. It's the Barker Cast Interviews, Occupy Midian. So if you search for those keywords, you'll be able to find it pretty easily. We also have links in the show notes down at the bottom there where you can buy it on hardcover or Kindle or on the Apple Bookstore as an ebook also. Alternative to Kindle if you use the Apple ebook store instead. For our Patreon, we're looking for more Patreon supporters. If you could, that would be great. And now I'm back from vacation. I'm going to start putting some more updates into the Patreon. But Patreon supporters at the $5 level get access to. We've got videos. We've got a YouTube playlist that's got only videos that our Patreon supporters can see. And then at the $10 level you get access to that, and also you can make suggestions for topics or maybe join in an episode. And then at the $15 level we have advertising, so we'll advertise in every episode and on the banner on the website and other places. So yeah, we've got big plans for the Patreon. We're just now getting it started. I've been fighting with them about trying to get you a login, and it's not going so well, but I'm going to have to manage it, I guess.
Yeah. Because I got stuff. I got stuff to put up in, and there's other people who are anxiously waiting for us to start having access to that so we could put up stuff in our Patreon for our backers, stuff that you can't get anywhere else. Like, for example, I'm looking at, some designs that I had for T-shirts, that early designs that I could put up and talk about a little bit how this concept came up. And, we've got scans of old stuff. Like there's a Little Spark Films Frightmare Cenobite round note table. We have a call sheet for when we interviewed all the Cenobites. We'd probably have to take out the number of Simon's room. Closed set. Right. And one time I did a little paper fish that I at work that people were supposed to decorate fish for Easter and put them on the office. I made a butterball fish, a little Cenobite fish.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So those things would be great. And you know what I was thinking is if you could make those unpublished blog posts, and then I could just copy them. I think that might be the easiest way to do it. Then I can just copy it, and I can credit you on there and say this was written by Jose.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great. It's just whatever. It's stuff we could share through there.
Yeah.
And then maybe some other point we could just share it also in our blog at some point. But you'll be able to see that first, and who knows for how long. You'll be able to see that through Patreon. Yeah. And then if it's something that we think really has a lot of public interest, then we can also eventually put it on the blog. But most of the stuff will be behind Patreon. So for people who want to support us, you'll get to see more behind the scenes stuff about what we do.
Yeah, and so I plan on going this weekend, hooking up the that playlist to the Patreon so people can actually see it. I haven't done that yet. And do want to shout out to our Patreon supporters, David Anderson. Thank you so much.
David.
And Eric Van de Holt.
Yay. Yeah. Thank you so much for supporting us. We really want to start putting up stuff that will make you guys happy that you're members of our Patreon. Yeah. You'll be able to see stuff nobody else can see.
And, of course, our returning sponsor, Don Bertram's Celebrate Imagination. As soon as we've got 3 months in, he's going to sponsor us again. But, yeah, Patreon doesn't. Yeah, anyway, it's just
wonderful
a thing with billing with them that we're working
I love Don, and I'm glad he got his book already, and I hope he's enjoying it.
Yeah, he seemed excited about it. And we're excited to be working with him again. It's nice to have a sponsor, and that's a good cause. And I really like his artwork. I have one of those in our Airbnb downstairs, and one in my office at work.
Yeah, and Christmas cards sometimes are from Celebrate Imagination.
Oh, yeah. I did do that once.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Might consider doing that again if I can get it together in time to order them. Yeah, so thanks to our Patreon members. And coming next, we're scheduled for next week. I know we keep saying it's next week every episode, but we're scheduled for, I believe, next weekend. We're going to be doing the commentary of Dead Pit with Ed Martinez. Future episodes will have more Hellraiser Quartet of Torment coverage.
Mm-hmm.
More news as it comes out. Jericho Squad will come back again at some point. We just need to get that scheduled and in the books.
Yeah.
It's it's not easy to get all those people together at one time, and I haven't started yet for this year, but we have to keep an uninterrupted flow about where we were and what we were doing, and sometimes after a few weeks it's kind of hard to get back to that flow. That's the problem with like having very sparse and distant episodes recorded. We just kind of lose touch about what we were doing in the last episode. I should put in a summary. Yeah. Well, and also you guys should take notes. So, and then A to Z Commentaries will be coming back to Z for Zombies and Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn. We'll do another commentary of that. And we'll be going back to the Boom Hellraiser comics, to the ones that came after number 20, which is, I think, The Dark Watch and The Road Below. Yes, The Dark Watch and Road Below. Those were like 4 or 6 page. I think four issues. 4 parts. Yeah. So maybe we should do 4 issues and do like each episode will be like one of those love stories. That's what I think. Yeah. So our next one, I think, is The Dark Watch. Is I think the next part. Sounds great. And we can also come back and talk a little bit more about Phantasmagoria once we've gone through it and you got your own copy. Yeah, I want to try to figure out how I can get that hardcover. Maybe Pete Atkins has a connection for us. Yeah, I think he's in London today, March 23rd, to sign that hardcover one, and then he's coming back to the U.S. Okay. So I hope he's having a good time there. And this Phantasmagoria stuff, really good. Like almost 375 pages of nothing but Hellraiser stuff. And lots of pictures, lots of drawings, fiction, interviews. It really is like I feel great that all this good stuff about Hellraiser is coming out recently. Yeah. The Quartet of Torment, Phantasmagoria Special Edition Series number 9, our book, even though it's more Nightbreed related, but also has stuff about Hellraiser in there. So it's just, I'm just happy about all this stuff coming out, man. Yeah. Yeah, me too. And a shout out to our friend Robbie, Rob Reidenauer. You got your book. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Anytime you want to be a part of our show again, if you want to stop by and talk about something you've seen or something you've read, we're more than happy to have you back, Rob. I mean, anytime you want to join us, okay? Definitely. Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah. Love you, man. Yeah. So I guess in this podcast having no beginning will have no end. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you have subscribed. You can find the Clive Barker Podcast wherever you find audio. Show notes for this episode, as well as news and reviews, can be found at our website at www.clivebarkercast.com. The Clive Barker Podcast, or BarkerCast, is an independent editorial podcast and blog that is not affiliated with or under contract by Clive Barker or Seraphim Inc. This is a labor of love by the fans for the fans. You can chat with us on our Facebook BarkerCast listeners group, our Facebook page, Twitter, or our Discord server. The best way to support us is to buy our book, The BarkerCast Interviews, Occupy Midian, available in hardcover on Amazon and ebook on Amazon and Apple Books. Fundraiser 10 is all about Patreon this year. Become a patron to get access to exclusive stuff, pick an episode topic, and maybe even get cool stuff in the mail. You can also buy a t-shirt on our TeePublic store. Go to tpublic.com and search for BarkerCast. Opening music by Ray Norrish. End credit music by Matt Furness.
Thanks for listening.